What's good, guys? Welcome back to SH. Lori is not here, but we are going to follow his advice. And we are going to be talking about not shonen, not hoops, moms. Your name, Andy. How we feeling? How we feeling?
Well, your name, as you said, it's Dory suggested for us to broaden our horizons, and I'm just glad to know that Omar is broadening his horizon. Maybe 9 years late, but we're here with this Your Name review. He finally experienced greatness that everybody in the world experienced 9 years ago, when Your Name broke box office records, became the number one anime of all time. And well, until Demon Slayer came in and completely blew it out of the water. But as always, we're here to give you guys the review. Might be a little bit of spoilers, but as we've said before, it's been forever since we've done a review, so apologies for us. We got five categories.
I will say before we get there, this could be the movie that gets people into ROMs, as it did I. Your name, like it's the first like ROM film I watched.
Yeah. A lot more romantic drama than romantic comedy. But as we like to review, and as we referenced before in these older videos, we try to do 5 categories, which hopefully I remember them all. If not, Omar help me out. So we got characters, plot, music, the ending, and how it impacted let's say, the anime sphere, or kind of just the world in general, if it broke out into like the US and stuff like that. So Omar, do you want to give like just a quick synopsis of what this was, since this was kind of like
Okay.
you have it more recent in your head than I do?
Okay. Yes. So this is the first of the trilogy called the Disaster Trilogy. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Yes. So essentially, it follows. I guess we could start with the idea that. I guess we can start with the plot then. I guess would be the first point we can do then. I really like the fact that it leaves you in a confused state because, spoiler warning again, we are dealing with almost as like a Freaky Friday type deal. They are confused, we are confused as the movie begins. So now we have to hit to a point where I get damn near like half hour into the movie, like a quarter of the film, halfway to the film, you realize, no, this is not the same person changing bodies. They're two different people switching in and out of bodies.
Yep.
And in order to keep communication, they are like leaving notes on their bodies, on their phones, anything to understand, like, hey, don't ruin my life, I won't ruin yours.
Yep.
And I don't know how deep I want me to go until you want to start giving your 2 cents.
No, I mean, we because technically we shouldn't talk about the ending until we get to that category. So for now, we'll start with the characters. For me personally, I really do enjoy the female lead and the male lead main characters, because you can kind of see that they are human. You can see that they're flawed. From the beginning, you kind of see like the immaturity of the guy when he's in the female girl's body. You know, little like comedic timings. But I will say, I don't know how I feel too much about like the side characters. Like, yes, they played a major role, and I don't think they were thrown into the shadows, but they played more of an integral part during the beginning half than toward like the latter half, if that makes sense. Like, after the big conflict, I felt like they were kind of just thrown into the wind, which obviously is going to happen because they're not the main characters. But so for me personally, I think like characters, I'd probably give them like because I think we used to do out of 5, so I'd give them like a 3 personally. So what do you think about characters?
I will say that personally, so I agree with you. The mains were elite. You know, it you can almost tell, like, feel like you might react that way if you were in that situation. But yeah, Miyazumi and Taki were like really great mains. For I will say, you like when it comes to side characters, you have to give anime graces, especially when we're not dealing with an anime series. We're dealing with a film. So the pacing has to be a lot quicker, and that's like something I have to give context to. The side characters, it's almost like I really enjoyed it because like at the beginning they were looking like, what's good with you? Why are you acting so weird? Like y'all like you acted so different yesterday. Even to Taki's like coworker, she was like, "Oh, like I've never seen you act so sweet with me before." This, that, or the other, and to the point where you get to the middle of the movie, like, "All right, we're gonna help you." Weird, but we have to come to expect that um at some point the main characters were going to be the main characters and leave,
Mhm.
especially when you're dealing with two separate characters. Don't want to say too much before the ending,
Yeah.
but that has to go together with the plot. So I don't mind that part at all. I will say I would give it 4.
Okay. Uh, so what we can go from there, we'll go to like I think what everybody really made this blow up, like the movie blow up internally, was the music. Yeah, what to say about the music? It was literally during the time it was like top one in Japan everywhere. Rad Wimps like blew up from there because the songs just fit the emotion of the setting and of the scene that was happening. Like, try not to do as much like as a spoiler, but like toward the ending, they play this song of while the main characters are kind of like living their life. And if you're really listening to like the lyrics, it's like the lyrics are just like a little bit closer, a little bit farther. Like if it just take one more step, and it just hits so perfect for the scene that's happening right in front of you, and you're like, it really does make you get more invested because your emotions are like, okay. It's one of those times where it's just like this music 100% made the movie, made the scene better because of how well it fit the scenario that you're watching. So for me, hands down, it was probably like I'm telling you, it blew everything up, blew that movie up to sky high. That's a 5 out of 5 for me.
I honestly, 5 out of 5. I'm just not really like it's all these songs like once you like the because personally whenever I like a song I add it to my anime playlist. Whenever each song comes on, I'm like, ah, damn, it's that movie, it's this scene, and it hits over and over again. And the movie, the songs were elite, the OSTs were elite, the opening was great, everything was fire.
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the plot. So here, gonna do our best not to give spoilers, but we are gonna put a spoiler warning just so that way, because we are gonna after this we're gonna talk about the ending, and then we're gonna talk about how basically how like this movie affected the sphere of the anime, just regular people world. So plot.
I want to start.
You
Let
can
me
start.
start.
You can start.
I will say I watched the 20 minutes of Your Name twice. When I started watching it, I watched it on maybe I watched it. So the first 20 minutes I was like, bro, did I miss something? Did I like fall asleep? Did I skip something? Let me go back to the beginning and rewatch the first 20 minutes because now I'm confused. And I think I even texted you, I was like, bro, what like I'm lost. But it was just one of those great things for the plot's sake of like you're confused because you're watching everything from two POVs from the same person, almost. So you come to realize that one's in like one's in like Tokyo City and one's in a rural area. Like, okay, so we're dealing with that type of thing. Cool. And then the plot twist is nah, they are in different areas but different time. And it's heartbreaking. The moment he realizes she's dead, all like the notes they were keeping with each other start disappearing off his phone. He forgets her name, and it's like getting like it breaks your heart. And he goes because he realizes he travels to the rural area to see if he can find her first. And it was like a foreshadowing question, like, oh, where did you ever get like when he went on a date with the girl with his coworker? She had like, oh, who gave you that like wristband you like wearing, like a bow tie on your wrist? And he was like, honestly, I don't know. It was like a person from long ago that he didn't even know. And you see her when she goes to Tokyo, and it was just great. Before we move on to the ending, I'm gonna let you to the ending what you thought about the plot twist, that they were in different.
So the plot was great because I believe they start the film first with the male lead looking at the comet, which is like something that was like a phenomenon. It's like, oh, once every 100 years there's a meteor shower, and you see it from the male point of view, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. What a good way to start off this movie. Then it goes, as Omar saying, like, very confusing. You're like, okay, what's happening? Why is this person acting this way? Why is this person acting this way? And then as you're figuring out, oh, okay, they've switched bodies, you're now puzzling the pieces of like, okay, so what's gonna happen here? What's gonna happen next? So the point, eventually, like, they do fall in love with each other because they're like, they're the definition of being able to put yourself in the other person's shoe, which makes them fall in love with each other. As Omar is explaining, as fast as he can, they fall in love with each other, but obviously, big plot twist is when the guy wants to go like look for the girl, he finds out, wait, like as they're like in front of this like they're about to go to the mountain to get to the place, they're like, what's happening? This whole place is destroyed, and it's because that meteor that he saw like 6 months ago had
3 years.
Well, three. Oh yeah, probably yeah. The comet that he saw 3 years ago had split off a piece, and that piece landed in the village where she lived, which annihilated the whole entire town. So now, instead of it just being a regular, body switch and how do we fix this, it's like, how do I now save the person that I love? How do I, what can I do from the future, knowing what I know when I go back in time to try to help you? And it's very touching, very emotional, because the whole time you're thinking, like Omar said, when she first appears to the boy hasn't, they don't know each other because obviously they hadn't even switched bodies at the time of the boy's timeline. So that's why he didn't recognize her. Then it gets to the point where it's like, a lot of the movie's a lot about kind of like spiritual. There's the Twilight Zone, and during the Twilight Zone is when the spirits kind of like are at the high. During that time, they were able to meet the girl and the boy, and as they're like, oh my god, I finally saw you, and they're shedding tears, and it's like, okay, hey, I'm not gonna forget you. So save your village. I did the best I could. I'm gonna remember you. So long story short, I'm not gonna give you guys too much of the details, that way you guys can watch it if this does sound interesting to you. A lot of things happen where they do eventually maybe get saved, maybe they didn't, but the memories started to slip away because that now that the timeline has been changed in the past, the future never existed. So everything the male character went through got completely wiped from the second the body switch happened to when he's on top of the mountain and he's like, why am I even here? Then you just live with the angst of like, what's gonna happen next, and years pass by. I feel like 10 years passed by. I don't remember honestly, but and you're over here like, when are they gonna meet? Are they gonna meet? Do they even know they exist anymore? Which for the plot, we see body switching a lot in anime, let's be real here, but the way that they did it with the plot twist is what gave it so much more of an oomph. So that's why I would give it like a 4 out of 5. I don't know if you gave your number out or not, but
Man, can I give it higher than a 5? Like,
nope.
5.
Right,
5 out of 5. I will say, man, I don't want to give a lot of details, but the one detail I wanted to hit on was when they called it magic hour. They're on the mountain for those few minutes, and they're saying, I won't forget you. She goes, hey, write your name on my hand. And him understanding that no matter what I write, it will probably fake, because I looked at my phone, he writes I love you and then disappeared before she can write her name on his hand, and that hit so hard. Like the plot, like it was so good.
Yeah, it's one of those moments you just have to watch.
To like go through his mind, to like go figure out, find loopholes in order to change the timeline was like elite. They did it in an elite way.
Yep.
But 5 out of 5.
Yeah. So then going off into the plot, I'll just finish off with my side of how I enjoyed the ending. The ending was full of angst. It was full of like, what's gonna happen now? Did they survive? Where are they living now? Because in the end, the meteor did still hit. So we're here like, okay, but what happened? Did they make it? Did they die? Like, was she able to succeed? And then as the ending's going and the music's playing, and you're seeing the male character, the lead, walk around with his business, you see snippets of the supporting characters in the village, like talking, conversing. You're like, okay, wait, no, they did survive. and then you get told the result of like, okay, no casualties because everybody was safely waiting on the schoolyard, being able to be completely away from the media. And you're like, yes, but now since he doesn't have memories of him and she doesn't have memories, so because she doesn't have memories of him and he doesn't have memories of her, are they just done for? Are they never gonna see each other again? And the whole time you're like, crap, this sucks. Like tears in your eyes. You're like why can't this be a happy ending? And then it goes to what's probably one of the most famous anime little scenes, and it's a couple of stairs. And I'll let Omar finish this off. For me personally, I will say 5 out of 5, bro, because that stuff still gets me emotional to this day.
Yeah, man. So yeah, like you see the running back boy. So yeah, they clearly don't have like a hard memory of each other anymore, but it's just a gut feeling of you look so familiar. I don't know why. And I see you on like different trains in Super and they start running across Tokyo, up and down, looking. And then yes, so I guess this also goes with the impact. The impact for me is a 5 out of 5 because those stairs, people travel to see certain things in like Japan, Tokyo, Fuji. Those stairs are one of them. I have seen so many reels, not knowing before watching this movie what those damn stairs were. But now I know. I want to see those stairs.
Yep.
Yeah, the ending of them like just going, because they saw each other, went up, she went down the stairs, he went up the stairs, looked at each other like, maybe, I don't know. No one was gonna say, Andy, I promise you, I would have crashed out if he didn't say anything. But for him to be like, and then like the last words of each other at the same time saying, hey, what is your name? It hit on every chord, and the ending was like 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Impact 5 out of 5 clearly because it had its trilogy. Those stairs are iconic. 5 out of 5.
Yeah, like Omar. During the time when this did come out, the impact was incredible. As I believe, I'm like 99% sure it was like #1 in the box office for an anime film that had broken out into the States. I believe it was out for Oscar nominations. Academy Awards or whatever it's called for the movies. But it was one of the first times where it's like, hey guys, look, anime can be impactful. It is not just, oh, it's that weird stuff. Oh, it's just comedy. Oh, it's just Dragon Ball. Oh, it's just a Pokemon. No, it can have its depth. It can have the emotion equal to movies that come out from Hollywood. And that was one of the first times where I feel like it made people turn around and be like, wait, this form of media can be something way more than what we have now. And that's why I feel like we see so many more anime movies and so many more animes becoming movies or doing things like that, because they saw the success. They saw that it broke into Western media. And it might be a hot take, but I'm gonna be real. I think Your Name might have opened a lot of pathways for anime such as Demon Slayer for it to be the one that broke the records in the end. Because before that, you've never seen an anime movie come out in the United States unless it was a Dragon Ball special film or something that was like OG stuff for the older fans. So I will agree with you. I do think it's a 5 out of 5, but that means honestly for me in total, movie was great. It's an A+. It's fascinating. Like Omar said, this was the first installment of the Disaster trilogy. We have seen Omar has seen the other two, so we're gonna get to those two and give our opinions of that in another video, probably in the next coming weeks as we're alternating. But Omar, are there any final words that you want to leave the people with?
Okay, so by the tally, you ended up giving it a 28 out of 30. No,
I think it was 27.
23 out of 25.
You're right.
5
Yep, you're right. 22 actually. 22. Sorry.
And I ended up giving it a 24. The other thing I dropped was the character. So I am deciding. I did not tell you this beforehand.
Mhm.
When it comes to wrongs, we are going to have a bonus category.
Okay.
No point. The yes or no question.
Okay.
Andy, did you cry? First
Yes.
time watching.
Yes. During that first time watching, yeah, probably. Okay.
The answer is saying yes. That is going to be the bonus question now
Okay.
for the wrongs.
Okay. All right. That's
But they're not
completely fair.
hit the chord enough for you to tear up or cry.
Okay. All right.
And
But
the
then,
answer is
okay.
yes for the-
All right. Fine. That's fair. But then I have to have my own bonus question. Did you at some point giggle and kick your feet? Hard hitting questions, baby.
Andy, I will say, I started watching this movie, relaxed, laid back, laid down. By the end, when I tell you, I was begging for him to say something like on the edge, just like closer to the TV than I should be. Yes, yes to all these questions. It was elite.
Yep. I mean, hey, that's what happens when you broaden your horizons. Well, thank you guys for watching this review. Please, if you haven't seen Your Name, give it a try. It might not, if you're not into regular anime, like I said, this did break a lot of records. It came into the States. It's in English. You don't have to read it. The voice acting was just fascinating.
I watched it.
Yep, give it a try. If you did watch this movie because of us, or if you've already seen this movie and you think it's not as great as we're hyping it up,
And you don't know more.
you don't know Bob, but that's okay. Leave a comment. Tell us that we're insane. Tell us that we need to find women. We're not going to, because we're here for the rom-coms. We're here for the anime. We're here for the hoops. You ain't getting rid of us that easily. We'll see you guys on the next one. Please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and let us know what movies you want us to watch. Let us know what you guys want us to review. We've been waiting. We're back on this game, and we're gonna keep doing our best to keep this ball rolling. But yeah, we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.